Madam Deputy Chairman, at the outset, I would like to thank our Finance Minister Sri Tiwari for submitting a budget which is more rural oriented, more growth oriented, and more people oriented than the budget submitting by our Prime Minister last year. These concessions, measures, and programs do not amount to say that the Ministry of Finance have been abreast with the situation and aware of the needs of the nation, as rightly commented by one economist. Mr. Tiwari's maiden budget is a good exercise in public relations, but not so good in public finance. The budget document has been prepared in such a way as to appear that it contains more concessions than tax burdens, not because the minister had dropped the proposal of imposing taxes due to drought, but because he had indulged in pre-budget exercise. Unfortunately, for the last few years, to mobilize the resources, the Ministry of Finance is following this unhealthy practice. Owing to this pre-budget exercise, the income to government has been underestimated. I am not against the mobilization of revenues to the government, which is quite essential to implement our plan targets successfully and to introduce new programs for the welfare of the country. The methods adopted by the government are quite unwarranted and irritating. It shows that it has no confidence in the parliament. Contrary to our expectations, our finance minister has submitted an astronomically deficit budget. As far as the states are concerned, they have no right to print currency notes. A state which submits a deficit budget ultimately is compelled to overcome the deficit by right means. But in the case of the center, since it has a right to print the notes, the deficit budget only fuels the fire of inflation and hike in prices. Unmindful of price increase and inflation every year, the center follows the practice of submitting deficit budget. The deficit was rupees 6,000 crores in the year 1995-96, rupees 8,000 crores in 1996-97, rupees 8,000 crores in 1997-98. How are we to overcome this difficulty? Madam, we speak much about financial discipline. We ask the state governments to follow the discipline in financial matters. But as far as the central government is concerned, it does not follow any principle in the discipline of financial matters. Madam Deputy Chairman, the government has already constituted the National Committee for Tourism. I would take this opportunity to urge upon the government that its recommendations should be given full and quick effect by providing incentives which will develop the tourism industry all over the country. This can include giving concession for all those ancillary industries. The incentive to such export industries should be taken up by the finance minister as early as possible. This can include improved facilities of airports as well as other means of transport, doubling the capacity as far as other connected export oriented industries are concerned. I think that this step can help us in mobilizing better earnings and return of foreign exchange. Thirdly, Madam, I am very much in favor of rationalization of the tax structure. You are aware that there is a very bitter debate going on concerning the tax proposals which have been put forward and passed by us in the form of amendment to tax laws, and I feel that the Honorable Minister would give careful consideration to the criticism and difficulties involved therein. Suggestions are coming from all over the country, from all walks of life, that there are drastic measures stipulated just like Section 44 or the provisions concerning the partnership and the liabilities of the partner, all that requires due assessment. If you want to give a flip to the economy and infuse confidence in taxpayer. Fourthly, I would like to draw the attention of the ministry to the growing disparity, whatever may be our claims between the poor and the rich in this country. I have the report which has just come yesterday, published in the Times of India, giving figures to show how the poverty has risen in the country under the heading Poor Population up in Uttar Pradesh, and the figures quoted are staggering. This house must share the concern that there are millions of people who can be classified as very, very poor. I would sincerely urge the government to tackle the problem of poverty as a priority problem and not leave it to the mere physical measures or the forest of figures which every budget keeps saying that we have allocated this much of amount and all that. That is not the method in which you can reach the poor simply by saying that we are dedicated to remove poverty.